Happy Thursday. Today is Thursday, June the 2nd, 2022. Getting ahead of myself. And today's daily Bible readings come to us from Psalm 104, 24 through 34, and then 35, Isaiah 32, 11 through 17, and Galatians 5, 16 through 25. And I'm going to look at the text from Galatians. I'm really surprised I haven't done this already. I've really felt like I had, and I went back through the DBR list of texts for the past 2 years, like twice, just making sure I didn't. And that's because the DBR has like hit around this text in Galatians, but never actually dealt directly with it until today. So, congratulations. And as I say that, I just realized I didn't actually check for the first part of this year, but I'm pretty sure it didn't cover it. But anyway, so I'm going to talk about Galatians and talk about what the flesh desires. So first of all, don't confuse the word flesh that you see in this text here with, your body, simply with your physical body. That it's that, but it's not like, and that's part of the problem I think we have sometimes. People read that, and they read Paul's use of the word flesh, and especially in this text, which you keep in mind, once again, Paul was writing in Greek. And so the Greek word that he's using is sarx, right? So there's different words you can use. Sarx is flesh, right? Then I think it's soma would be body, right? So there's different words you can use that get translated kind of similarly, but sarx is flesh. So don't confuse that word flesh just for your physical body. Paul is not saying that your physical body itself is just automatically evil and you just need to get rid of it, and that's a whole problematic thing. And we'll talk about that another time. But yeah, Paul's not saying your just body itself, just in and of the fact that it exists, is the problem. That's not what he means. Paul is talking about the corrupt human will. That kind of that fleshiness, right? It's this idea of like the will as it is separated from the will of God. So a will that is set against the will of God, right? And not just that your will isn't of itself kind of ignorant because it doesn't have access to God, but it's like intentionally set apart from God and set against God. It's a will that might even, person might even appear to be all about the spiritual things, but at sometime in the end, they're desirous of what. It's a will that's in the end of things is just desirous of those things that please itself, right? Not terribly concerned with what pleases God. And we use a word to describe that kind of desire of the flesh. It's you might have heard it before. It's a word, concupiscence, and I think we should bring it back into usage. Concupiscence. It sounds like some kind of weird heirloom variety of cucumber. But concupiscence, it means desire, intense desire for pleasure. Most typically, it's identified with sexual desire. That's like a lot of times how you'll hear it used. And then the problem is whenever anybody hears the word used, they think that's automatically what they're talking about. Well, yeah, it kind of is, but it's not just that. Sexual desire would fit under the heading of concupiscent desires, but specifically it is a selfish type of desire. As my good friend Joseph Pieper puts it, I've never actually met him. He died like while I was in seminary, and I didn't know about him then. But yeah, I really like his books. You should read them too. But as Joseph Pieper puts it, not Piper, Pieper, he says, concupiscence, our will to possess, whether that be directed toward pleasure, honor, ownership, or power, is ultimately rooted in nothing other than in an overweening, disordered self-love. So it's this desire to control. It's this desire to as he says, to honor. It's this fleshy desire to always be looking for whatever honors yourself or whatever gives yourself pleasure. Whatever helps you have ownership over things and power. That's concupiscent desire. That's what it means to be caught up in this concupiscence, this desires of the flesh. And that's what we see in Paul's list of vices here that he lists out. And he says, now the works of the flesh are obvious: fornication, impurity, licentiousness, idolatry, sorcery, enmity, strife, jealousy, anger, quarrels, dissensions, factions, envy, drunkenness, carousing, and things like these. He doesn't even end the list. He's just like, this is the things that happen when you just give up, you know, the desires of God and just lend yourself over completely to your fleshy desires, your concupiscence. It's a disordered jumble of actions and problems and issues that grow out of our selfish, disordered, fleshly desires, fleshy desires, and that's the problem. It's this, it's your desires when they've been cut away and like set adrift from the will of God, and that's. And he also puts it, it's like it's the outcome of complete and total liberty. Like I will not serve, I will not listen to you. I am free, and I'm gonna take my freedom and do whatever I please. And these are the things that come out of it. Um, and Paul says that's the problem. Your fleshy desires, your concupiscence, your desire for self love above all else. It's not that you're not supposed to love yourself, but you're not supposed to love yourself above all other things. Those are where the problems come in. He says, meanwhile, by contrast, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self control. There is no law against these things. The desires of the flesh will get you put in jail. Fruits of the Spirit, not so much. Anyway, that's the DBR for today. Get out, enjoy the day, and we'll be back tomorrow. Talk to you later. Boop.